The Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to Matthew. Glory to you, Lord Christ. Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea. Such great crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat there, while the whole crowd stood on the beach. And he told them many things in parables, saying, "Listen, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell on the path, and the birds came and ate them up. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and they sprang up quickly, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched. And since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among the thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and brought forth grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Let anyone with ears listen." Hear then the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what is sown in the heart. This is what was sown on the path. As for what was sown on the rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Yet such a person has no root, but endures only for a while. And when trouble or persecution arises on account of the word, that person immediately falls away. As for what is sown among the thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the cares of the world and the lure of wealth choke the word, and it yields nothing. But as for what is sown on good soil, this is the one who hears the word and understands it, and who bears fruit and yields, in one case 100-fold, in another 60, in another 30. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
I know as we talk to one another, we tell one another how we are coping with this virus. And we also tell one another what we missed. And I wish we could have a dialogue where we could just talk and hear what each of us missed. I miss seeing all of your face. I never thought at any point in my life that we all kind of look like, and I'm dating myself, and I hope this isn't socially inappropriate, like the Lone Ranger with a mask on. I go to places wearing a mask where before they would not even allow me to go into, like the bank. But there are other things that I miss. Being able to have a full nave or sanctuary of people. Having people exchange the peace in church. Having people come up to the communion rail to receive communion. I miss many, many things, and I know you all do too, and they vary according to who we are. But the thing I miss the most, really, honestly, is my time with the children in church. Because children have an energy and a vivaciousness that's unstoppable. You know, by the time we get to be teenagers, we're told over and over again what we're told, what we're doing wrong, by peers or by adults, and that's part of our social growing up. We have to learn what's right and wrong. But part of that learning what's right and wrong cuts into our vivaciousness with God. And children, they're children. They say what's on their mind. And they don't mind contradicting adults or telling adults that what you're thinking isn't pretty smart. In fact, they'll tell you you're pretty stupid at times. But I've been corrected by children here at the chancel steps many, many times. And you know, a lot of times they're right. Because that's their understanding of who God is in the midst of the world. I read in the Christian Century recently a story about a Mennonite Sunday school teacher, Isaac Village, who, when talking to his 7-year-old Sunday school class about the burning bush of Moses, he had as a demonstration one candle burning, and he told them to be quiet for a few minutes and just to listen, and then to tell them what they heard. They listened and they listened and they listened, and then he said, "What did you hear?" One said, "A crackling." Another said, "A hiss." One person said, "I heard my own voice." And then, of course, a cascade of other children got involved and said, "Well, we heard our own voice too." And then one little brave girl said, "No. God is heard in not one voice, but in all our voices. God is heard when we all speak and we all listen." What more can he say? He dismissed the Sunday school class. That one little girl had a profound theological insight that we need to carry with us today. This is why I believe the two lessons that are here for us today from Isaiah and from Matthew are so good for today's world. Because in Isaiah, he's talking to the people who are downtrodden, who don't know when their misery is going to let up. And it's kind of like where we are right now with this COVID. We don't know when this COVID is ever going to let up. We accept it, but we worry about it. We accept it because we have to, not because we want to. And in Isaiah's case, his people were burdened by foreign oppressors who stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed till they became spiritually depressed. Their emotions were threadbare. They thought God had forsaken them. But Isaiah reminded them that God's word is always true, that he never forsakes the people whom he loves. Jesus is saying the same thing in another way today in his parable of the sower of the seeds. We can interpret this parable many different ways, and they all could be right. But I don't concentrate on the soil. I know soil. I know that some days I'm fertile and other days I'm rocky and I'm like a piece of cement. No one's going to get to me, let alone God. I'm full of myself and I'm full of what I think, and So it's not about me or you or the soil we carry from me. It's about the sower. The sower who sows and sows and sows and sows and just throws that seed all around. And he doesn't care about where it lands because he wants to sow that seed. He wants us to be full of his glory and grace and love. It's well for us to remember that during this COVID crisis. God is still throwing out his seeds of love and concern. And it's up to you and I to catch a few in a way, to allow them to take root in our hearts and souls, so that we too can be sowers of seeds in this world where, as one person said, everyone seems to be on edge. We are. But if we can take care of some of our edginess, some of our despair, if we can put more of our trust that God is truly with us, then we will sow seeds of hope and love and not despair. May God enable us to do that this week, so that we may be bearers of the good news